Good afternoon, very warm welcome to the second match this afternoon on the Bon Secours Premier Senior A Football Championship as we look forward to Clonakilty and Duhallow. One of two quarter-finals we're after having already this weekend, and third one upcoming. An interesting encounter indeed. Duhallow coming through the college and divisional section after defeating UCC in the semi-final, and of course Clonakilty finishing second in their group behind the bars. A really breezy Páirc Uí Chaoimh this afternoon, and we'll be looking forward to the match in the company of Noel O'Leary and John Hayes. But first, let's hear from both camps ahead of today's fixture. We'll be hearing from Duhallow manager Ned English shortly, but firstly, let's head to Clonakilty and to their selector, Owen Hayes. So Owen, let's start with yourselves in Clonakilty. Tell us how you're getting on and how have preparations been going over the last fortnight.
I suppose preparations have been going well enough, you know. There's a good buzz there. Fellas are looking forward to the game. Of course, since they heard the venue was Páirc Uí Chaoimh, they're looking forward to it even more, you know. I suppose we have a few injury problems, all right, as you probably know, like, you know, our big players, some of them like Liam is dodgy. We're still hopeful that he'll start, like. Boris wasn't fit to start the last day, so we're hoping that he'll be fit to start now on Sunday. And but you know, training has been going well, and they seem to be in a good place, you know, and we seem to be ready for it and looking forward to it.
And I suppose just like going through your panel, you're speaking of the likes of Liam O'Donovan, Maurice Shanley, and of course you've got the hurler and David Lowney as well, and the White brothers, and Sean and Mark White. So like when people see the panel that you have, you actually have quite a strong panel of players.
Absolutely, yeah. We have a lot of players with inter-county experience. You know, it's to gel them together and get them going right, I suppose. We've been playing well at times during the year. Like our first championship game against Island Rovers, we played fairly well. We were happy with the performance, you know. Against Ballincollig, we were happy with the performance in the first half. We were probably hanging on a bit in the second half. We made it harder than it should have been. And of course, the game the last day against the Bars, we underperformed. But you look, the Bars are a good team. There's no doubt about that. An experienced outfit. I suppose they'd be definitely, in my book, they'd nearly be the favourites. One of the many, you have the Bars, Castlehaven, and you know, Duhallow are always thereabouts. So yeah, we know we have a tough task ahead of us Sunday. Like,
and I suppose you're in a good aspect of having a dual status, you know, in junior hurling and senior football. So how hard has it been to combine that down in West Cork?
Like, I suppose early on in the year, the lads were in the county semi-final of the junior hurling, you know, so it was a good bit of time given to hurling then, all right. But since they were beaten in that then, and they were kind of beaten early enough in the junior hurling this year's competition, so we've had them all since that, like, which has been good, you know. It definitely, look at the dual clubs, I suppose. Look, we have junior hurling and senior football, but it's hard, like, especially where the whole thing is condensed now, because it's week after week they're out, you know. It's hard. There's loads of injuries, like, obviously, and I think the time of the year we're playing now as well with heavy ground and stuff brings on more injuries, you know. So yeah, but we've been handling it all right, the dual thing this year, anyway. You know, it's okay if one of them get knocked out early. It's you can deal with it. But if you had the two of them still going, like, it would be very hard. There's no doubt about that. Like, you know.
Just hope the new round robin format from a Clonakilty point of view. How will you find it? Are you in favour of this 3-team group? I know the time period is short, and probably looking towards next year, there is going to be an extra couple of weeks. But the guaranteed the 3 games and a bit of certainty of time. Are you happy with that?
Absolutely, I think it's brilliant, because, like, myself personally, I remember playing when I was playing before, and you'd be training, and you could play one championship match, and that's it for the year. Like, you know, this is a way. I know it has changed a lot since then, but this is definitely a way better. You know, getting 3 games is huge. Like, absolutely, there's no doubt about that, because, like, with the effort guys put in, you know, they deserve to play the games. Like, you know.
Tell us about Duhallow. We've obviously seen him here on the Irish Examiner when they defeated UCC in that colleges and divisional final on that Sunday night. We spoke about ourselves off air. Knockdegree, obviously, going senior has dramatically they've lost, 8 or 10 players from their panel from the last couple of years. So, but what are you expecting of Duhallow on Sunday afternoon?
Well, I saw the Duhallow game against UCC. It's like, that was a very strong UCC team. Like, if you go down through the players and that, now they may not have played well that night, but Duhallow are ferociously defensive that night anyway, and I presume with Ned they'll be the same against us. And UCC couldn't break them down at all. Like, it was a low scoring game. Obviously there's no space. They were giving up no space in their back line for forward play, like, and sure they're after losing guys from Clonakilty, but at the same time the guys that are after coming in, they have a huge pick up there, like, I'd love to have the panel that they have, or we'd love to have them here. Like, we don't have a panel like that, like, I know, they probably don't get together too often and stuff like that, but they're all well able to play football, and the way they played that night, they're going to be very hard to break down, like, but we know, like, bottom line, I suppose, is we're hoping our lads will give a performance, and we're hoping then that performance will be good enough to get us through. But we know the task isn't going to be easy. Like, Duhallow, okay, they're after losing, not agree, but for the last 3 or 4 years, they're after being to the semi-final and 2 finals, so they're used to being at this stage of it. Like, this is as I said to you there earlier, like, our aim was to get out of the group, so we're out of the group, and there's bonus territory for us after this,
And it's a good bonus territory to have to be playing in the likes of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. For the likes of yourselves to come out from West Cork to be playing in Cork City, it is a great, I suppose, a bonus, as you said yourself, to have.
Absolutely, yeah. And the lads, since they saw that the game was on in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, really, the buzz has even got more. They can't wait to get on the pitch and have a goal, like. And like, our lads would be physically, they would be light enough, so hopefully the ground conditions, even though with all the rain, but I still think Páirc Uí Chaoimh, the ground will be good. Like, I know there's a good few games on there at the weekend, but like, it should be better than anything else in the county anyway, so hopefully that'll suit us, like.
All in all, you're looking forward now to throwing at 4 o'clock. Yeah,
I can't wait. Really looking forward to it, yeah.
So now let's head out to Duhallow and speak to their manager, Ned English. And Ned, thanks very much for joining us. I suppose this weekend is going to be slightly different from your own point of view, in the sense of the last time that you would have played, not many of your players would have been playing football on a Saturday. But this weekend, I suppose you're a bit compromised of having most of your team playing football championship with their club on Saturday and then turning out for the division on Sunday.
Yeah, that's very much the problem this weekend. We don't know really who will be available because of knocks and one thing and another. And, they're all playing championship football the day before, which to my mind it is not quite right. I think if divisions, both hurling and football divisions, are left into competitions, and the reason for them, of course, is very plain. The reason for them is so the players can play at a lower level with their club and stay with their club, not be trying to transfer to bigger clubs, and still get a bit of exposure if they've been missed by the underage system or whatever other system. Get a bit of exposure at adult level, see what they can do, and that's very much used in other counties like Kerry and things like this. Kerry very much pride their divisional teams. And a lot of teams are playing junior B football with teams in South Kerry and still playing with Kerry because of their progression through the divisional setup. So I think the divisions, it's worth having them and worth keeping them. By all means, they can't practice like a club because that would be unfair. But I think a little bit more consideration needs to be given to player welfare and to equality, to give them a little bit more recovery time. There is no good reason in my book why these matches that our clubs are involved in couldn't have been played on a Friday, which would give you at least 48 hours of recovery for players.
Like Emily Kelly in the hurling section, yourselves in the football in Duhallow, you really do make a real good fist of it when it comes to championship, and you produce some great players. And again, on Sunday night, we're going to see players that some people may recognise, the likes of Donegal O'Connor, who's still playing into his late 30s.
Yeah, you will, yeah. And you'll see other lads like Kevin Craman and Conor O'Callaghan, who you mightn't have seen at the senior stage in football. They're good players. Paddy Allen, to name but a few. I mean, you could name 15, and all of these guys are going to be representing their division, and they're going to be competing on a senior club stage. So, they're looking forward to it, and we're looking forward to it as well. I mean, we put aside the areas that we can't control, and we just move on, and we try to deal with the areas we can control, and that's what we've been doing all week.
I suppose the game against UCC, a very low-scoring game, both sides playing pretty defensive. UCC found it very hard to break down your defence, but when you did go up the field, you created a lot of chances, scoring opportunities in the game.
We did. We didn't take as many. We wouldn't have been happy at how many chances we took. I think, you see, games football are often determined by the opposition, in the sense that against Muscary, UCC very much played open football in the beginning, and Muscary were getting through against them. And then in the second half of that game, UCC very much defended. Muscary kind of broke on the rock of their defence, and UCC came forward on the break and outscored them well in the second half. So, I mean, UCC very much brought that template into the game against us. They defended very, very, very well. And when a team defends against you very well, the game is set anyway. Then you have to do pretty similar things, because otherwise they'll hit you on the break. If you use all your players getting forward to try and break down their defence, then you're very open to. So sometimes the agenda is set by other teams. We didn't really particularly set out to be defensive.
Looking forward to the game this weekend. Clonakilty, of course, a hardened side. They've got their own couple of inter-county stars this weekend ahead of the match. But they've been in reasonably good form going into it. Okay, they were beaten by the Bears the last day, but the form beaten Ballincollig and Ireland would put them into what would consider a dangerous position going to today's quarter-final.
Well, since Hawley took over Clon, I have a lot of respect for it. He has put a steel into Clonakilty, and they're a much different team this year than they were last year. And they have a lot of quality footballers. There's plenty quality footballers belong West Cork. Excuse me. The voice is a bit gravelly. Excuse me. There's plenty good quality footballers belong West Cork, and they have good quality players. And they will hurt you if you don't defend well. And by the same token, we will have to work very, very hard to get scores against them. So it's interesting. It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be an interesting contest. So we're looking forward to it,
Obviously, the loss of the Notting Degree players from last year is a blow to yourselves, but you've got such quality and depth within your squad. Are you happy enough from where you are at the moment? I know preparations haven't been the best going into the game, but outside of that, are you happy enough going into Sunday's game?
Well, we're very happy with the quality of players in Duhallow. It is a division, as you say, that prides their football, and there are a lot of very good quality players here. Our biggest problem is identifying them. We've seen them in club games, but can they translate into senior football? I mean, they're playing at junior level and junior intermediate level with their clubs, but we've had no opportunity to see can some of these new players to step into the shoes of some of the players we've lost. We've had no opportunity to see whether they can translate into senior club players, which is a big step up. And that's our big drawback. A lack of time for preparation, lack of preparation time. But, that's the reality of it. But on the positive side, we worked as hard as we can to prepare them mentally for the game, and we focus more of our preparation towards the mental side of it than the physical side of it, because the physical side has been impossible. So we have a lot of good quality players. The question is how to use them. It is a team game, and very much they're going to be exposed to a new level of physicality and intensity that they're not used to. Some will come through that, and that's the interesting part of it.
Very warm welcome back to Páirc Uí Chaoimh. A much drier Páirc Uí Chaoimh than what it was minutes ago. And my thanks to both Owen Ryan and to Ned English, who we caught up with during the week. And I'm delighted to say John Hayes, who is small but pink in the cheeks and a bit rosy to go with it as well, has stayed with us for the second match this afternoon. And joining us is Noel O'Leary as well. Gents, thanks very much for joining us. An interesting first game for the afternoon. And this now has got a bit of bite to this as well.
Yeah, look, it's an interesting fixture. Myself and Noel were just looking through the programmes there, and on the Duhallow side, we reckon there's 9 guys who've already played a game this weekend, so that could be a factor. How are those guys feeling after that game? Carrying any knocks? Are they fresh? I think Duhallow is one of those guys, and they went to extra time on Friday night, I think, so...
Yeah, yesterday against Mitchelstown, yeah?
Yeah, yes. So exactly, he's bound to be feeling that a little bit, even though, look, he's a man who relies on his game intelligence a lot, so I'm sure he'll work his way around the pitch too. For Clon, then, the big question is whether Maurice Shanley and Liam O'Donovan are fit, one or both of them. If they're both fit, it's a huge boost for Clon. If one of them is fit, it's still positive, but if neither of them make it, then they might be up against it. So yeah, it makes for an interesting game. In the first game, Castlehaven came through in the end. Their quality in the last 20 minutes showed. And look, we're expecting a tight game here. Which way it'll go, I'll tell you when the teams come out and whether Liam and Morris are on the pitch.
Well, we are waiting for changes. Noel from a Duhallow, just to expand on that a small bit more. There's a good few players who played there yesterday. Mill Street, Newmarket, Drumtarn, Rockchapel, Ballydesmond, all involved in Championship yesterday. So Daddy's going to take a toll today.
There's no doubt about that. I suppose more so on the Ballydesmond players having gone to extra time. Newmarket obviously had a fairly comfortable win over Ballyvourney, and Mill Street. I think we're slightly off at the last day as well. So it is more the Ballydesmond players really you'd be watching today in relation to fatigue. So it's definitely going to play its part, I suppose, as the game goes on. But Duhallow have gone through this many times before, so it wouldn't be a surprise if they can overcome that.
And we're just getting changes through to us here. We'll confirm those in a second. Talk to us about in general from the Clonakilty point of view. They've had a really good championship so far. Obviously being beaten by the Bars the last day, but they've done quite well in what were tough conditions down there in Ballinascarthy.
Yeah, look, I saw them in the earlier round against Island Rovers where they had a comfortable enough victory in the end. They're sprinkled with inter-county experience. Mark White in goal, Liam O'Donovan, Tom Clancy, Sean White, and Darragh O'Shea was an underage footballer for Kerry as well, and is their main source of scores. They can be a little bit reliant on him, I think, for the scores. So whether he fires or not, because I think he might have only got 2 points against the Bars, but whether he fires or not could be crucial for Clon. But yeah, like I said, we're anxiously waiting to see what team takes the pitch for them, because Liam and Morris would both be hugely important players if they come through and pass their fitness test.
I just briefly touch on the last game. I suppose Castlehaven just the much better side in that game.
Yeah, they were in the end. I think the last 20 minutes they controlled it. The better team showed through in the end. Valleys played well in the first half and had kept it to 2 points. Castlehaven got a goal in injury time before half time to give them the 5-point cushion. Valleys came flying out of the traps in the second half, 4 good points in a row, and looked to be on a real high. But Castlehaven just steadied the ship, and in fairness to them, in that 15 minutes after half time, they kicked 4 or 5 really, really very impressive points. Brian Hurley, Michael Hurley, Mark Collins, O'Driscoll, Jack Allan, all these guys kicked good scores. So it was a good performance, and it was a good test for Castlehaven as well going into the semi-final.
We'll touch more on that in a short while. Let's have a look at the teams for today, and the Clonakilty team we're going to start out with, which sees one change in the corner forward position, and as the lads have mentioned, Maurice Shanley does start in corner forward in place of Conor Daly. Of course, we've got some great Cork players down throughout the years. Liam O'Donovan, Thomas Clancy, I should say, Danny Peach, Sean White, Mark White have all worn the Cork jersey, and now Maurice Shanley wearing number 19, but he's probably going to float back up in the half-back line.
Yeah, I wonder will he play full back and let Tom Clancy come out the pitch, because Tom is a comfortable footballer. He likes coming out the pitch, and he can take the ball and carry it well for Clonakilty. So yeah, look, I think we know Morris won't play corner forward, so he'll definitely come out the pitch, and it'll be interesting to see what other rejigs happen in the team then based on that.
Okay, let's change to Duhallow, and a couple of changes here in the cornerback position. We've got Alan Ryan in for Dara Cashman. Jerry O'Connor will start in place in centre-back instead of Kevin Cremin, and Mikey Brown will start in the corner forward position. Of course, they've got various number of players, household names down throughout the lines. John McLaughlin and Shane Hickey from a defensive point of view. But up front, we'll be looking towards the likes of Seamus Hickey and Donegal O'Connor Nolly.
Yeah, absolutely. They're certainly standout players, and I suppose, having seen Duhallow play this year, one guy I suppose we picked out from the last day against UCC was Conor O'Callaghan at wing forward. A very exciting young player and huge work rate and just a great team player and plenty of football as well. It's just interesting there, the two replacements are guys that actually played over the weekend, which is a surprise. So, I would have said they'd have looked for freshness, but look, we'll wait and see how it pans out.
So, conditions are much better, and I must say, lads, I know we're saying this all the time, but the pitch, it's an incredible condition here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. For after 5 matches, we're after 4 inches of rain this week since Tuesday?
Yeah, look, I just landed in here just towards the end of the Castlehaven game, and that was the first thing I remarked on. The pitch looks absolutely unbelievable, and to see it in the condition it's in after a game already been played in it, it's amazing. It's a credit to them.
Sure, as things start to settle down, we have a change of referee as well, because James Birmingham has picked up illness during the week. So Alan O'Connor of Ballygarvan is the man in Lorna Park this afternoon, and an interesting afternoon ahead. Start to making decision time, lads. Which way is this going to go? It has a big bearing on our semi-final pairings.
Yeah, look, all things being equal, I think you'd make Duhallow favourites, but I would have concerns about the amount of football their guys have played over the weekend. At the risk of not wanting to upset my neighbours, I'll give a tentative vote to Clonakilty on this occasion. But I don't know how Noel will see it. Noel would know more about the Duhallow side than I do.
We'll get Noel's intervention in a moment once the completion of our national anthem, Aron Naveen. So our final quarter-finals of the Bon Secours Premier Senior Football Championship for this weekend. We have Douglas in the pot, who are seed winners, seed number 1 into the pot. They can't face Castlehaven, who won our game a while ago. So as things stand, it's going to be a swap. I can't face Castlehaven, of course. They can face Castlehaven. That's where they are at the moment, I should say. It's, of course, the Bars they can't face. The Bars were number 2 seeds. And, of course, their win by 7 points over Éire Óg on Friday night. Well, it was a cracking game here on Páirc Uí Chaoimh. And hopefully, gents, we'll be looking for something quite similar. Conditions not as bad as the first game a little over 2 hours ago starting.
Yeah, definitely after calming a bit here. The clouds are opening up a bit. So hopefully now that'll add to the good game here, please God.
The voice of Noel O'Leary and joining us, John Hayes, as well for this final quarter-final of the Senior Football Championship. And it looks like there are a couple of straight swaps from a Duhallow point of view. Centre of the field, Paul Walsh and Daniel in the orange of Duhallow, Ben Ridgway and Joe Grimes in the green and red of Clonakilty, as Alan O'Connor throws this game in for the first time.
Just what's interesting there, Patty, is, like John said, Clancy is gone out on Bart Daly, it seems there, so obviously Clon are going to try and push him out the field to add a bit to their attack.
Now first shot in from Joe Grimes, going right, left and wide.
Yeah, caught it straight from the throw-in and powered through the middle. Just the shot was a little bit inaccurate, but it's not easy to kick into that top goal against the wind, even if some of the scoring in the first game was very impressive. It's definitely the scoring goal should be the Blackrock end, which is where Duhallow are playing into in the first half. So let's see if they can take advantage.
Ball offloaded from Paul Walsh inside in towards Conor O'Callaghan. The Cork under 20 hurling star, but just got intercepted there by Sean White, experienced Cork player, trying to work it down through the lines. As Clonakilty now trying to settle themselves under the tuition of Michael Hawley O'Neill, who's been in charge of them for the last couple of seasons, as we've heard from Owen Ryan earlier on in our pre-match interview. Here is Joe Grimes walking down this near sideline. Great tackle inside there by Kevin Crowley. The referee is saying it's gone off the Clonakilty man. It's going to be a Duhallow line ball. And some confusion on the line. Clonakilty men not happy underneath us. But it is going to be taken quickly here by Kevin Crowley, who sends it back into the centre of the park to Paddy Allen, and off to Carl Holland, the man from Kanturk. Over towards that far side of the field to John McLaughlin, his Kanturk teammate. Things now starting to settle down. Of course, Duhallow with that 10.8 win over UCC. Oh dear, poor pass out, and here's Ross Mannix with a chance. Well, he had a chance on goal if he wanted to try and lob the keeper and the defender. Mannix on the loop around from Darragh O'Shea. Here is Jack O'Mahony. Pops the ball back outside to Liam O'Donovan. O'Donovan offering himself his services once again. Cornerback for Clonakilty. Wing back from a Cork point of view. Well, he's been dispossessed in the tackle deep inside there, and a chance for Paddy Allen from Newmarket to get Duhallow off and running here as Conor O'Callaghan bringing it over the halfway line. Switching the ball over towards that far side. There's an acre space down in front of us here for Kevin Crowley to run into. The Duhallow man has overcarried the ball on that occasion, though. That was Seamus Hickey, and it's a free up for the Clan.
Just something that's standing out there. There must be a fair bit of a gale blowing from the city in there, because Clan had a couple of opportunities there to kick for a score, but obviously it's not on. I'd say there's a very strong wind there, so they're going to have to work it in here, which I think will suit Duhallow, because Duhallow are very good at getting bodies back and filling back, so they're obviously at it here now. So Clan are having to work very hard with the ball and hopefully try and get a man to break the line then.
Chance for Tom Clancy from the centre of the field down this south stand side. Dummy the pass. Went by the first man. Clancy shoved out over the line. Good catch inside there by Darragh O'Shea. Referee says it was cleaned up off the floor. So illegal touch to the ground, and free quickly taken by Kevin Crowley into the centre of the park, looking for the Rock Chapel man, Seamus Hickey. Playing that ball back inside in towards Mark Ellis from the Mill Street Club. Into the Kanturk man, Paul Walsh. Cork under 20 star and senior player who debuted last year and played a vital role in the Cork men's team this year in the league, as that ball touched out over the line by Liam O'Donovan. A chance for the great Donegal O'Connor. Seamus Hickey, that ball's gone out over the sideline off the boot of Hickey, and it's going to be a Clonakilty ball.
Yeah, just tactically, Noel touched on it there. I think Duhallow, they have one sweeper. Clan have only two players in the Duhallow half at this stage, playing into the wind. And Duhallow, during Clan's early attacks, had plenty of numbers back, so potentially we could be in for a little bit more of a cagey affair than we had in the opening game. Clan will have to work it through the lines. They've broken through here now, and it's important they punish in times like these.
Ben Ridgway with the opening shot of the game pops the ball inside to Morris Shanley. Great ball worked inside it towards Darragh O'Shea. Great save, good save by Kieran Holland to stop the goal opportunity. Ball gone out for a 45.
Yeah, look, that was a good move by Clan, and really good run by Morris Shanley. He came at the ball at pace and gave it a nice little pass. Maybe the pass just went a little bit wide for Darragh O'Shea, and a good save by the keeper, Mark White, up for the 45. He'll have the distance, you would imagine. If he can kick this, it's a good start for Clan.
So it is Mark White, who was often taking shots like these when playing the 2018 and 19 championship, wearing the red and white of Cork. Of course, he'd be wearing the white as a keeper. Absenteed himself in the 2020 season. Went on his travels in late 19 and 2020. He's back here wearing the red and green of Clonakilty. He's got great distance on it, just not curling enough. And that's Clonakilty's second wide of the afternoon, Noel.
Again, Patty, you could see he forced that. So obviously, as I say, there's a strong wind there. And in relation to the way they're set up, they're actually identical. Clon are gone with the same strategy. Clancy is gone back as an extra man, Bart Daly for Duhallow. So, I suppose the biggest thing we'd want to watch here is how long can each team sustain it? Clon have the youth, Duhallow have the experience. But again, like we touched on, you just have to wonder, will Duhallow have the legs to see it out?
Good work over on that far side of the field from Sean White. Great ball in towards the danger area. Inside here's Ross Mannix. Has to turn back out on the right hand side. Didn't connect though. And that just landed into the arms of Kyle Holland. And that gives Duhallow an opportunity now to try and flood numbers forward once again. But they really haven't penetrated the danger area from a Duhallow point of view. And a chance here for Paul Welch now to switch the play to that far side over towards Conor O'Callaghan. In fact, it's Shane Hickey over on that far side, who I should say. Hickey being marshalled over there by his fellow number 7, Shawnee White. That ball has been shoved out over the sideline and it's gone out into Duhallow man's hands. The referee is going to be awarding. Well, in fact, the referee has not. Now he signals that it's going to be a line ball, that it is a line ball from Clonakilty's point of view.
Yeah, look, it's cagey and defences are on top so far. Ross Mannix was a little bit unlucky there. He won a very good ball inside, but just kicking on the turn under pressure, couldn't execute. But scores might be at a premium today. Clon probably having the better of it so far, and facing into the city end where it is breezy will be the happier so far.
So Morris Shanley in possession after the sweeper keeper Mark White made his introduction outside the 20-metre line for a play this afternoon. Ball walked up through the lines in towards Ben Ridgway. Switch the play to that far side of the field now. It's Clonakilty now trying to work the score. Opening score still yet to come after 7 minutes of this quarter final. Here is Tom Clancy now. Saw the runner outside with thought of taking the space for his own benefit. Clancy dummied left, turned back on the right, shot going in, and that is going to the left hand side and wide. Third wide for Clonakilty.
Yeah, third wide, but to us here, I think it's obvious, Clon look a lot livelier. Looks like Duhallow need to shake off the cobwebs a small bit. Their build-up play is definitely more lethargic. But, again, plenty youth on this Clon side, so it's going to be very, very interesting how Duhallow will deal with that.
Ross Mannix had a chance of a mark, played it quickly inside to Sean McAvoy, but he's just been bundled over the sideline. And that is the fourth wide for Clonakilty, and that is... you need to be taking scores in conditions like this against the wind.
You do, but to be fair to Clon, they're going at them. Look, we're up high here, but I'd say it's fairly difficult, playing into that goal today. It's very, very breezy, but, Clon are taking them on, and, if they can sustain that, again, I hate repeating myself, but, Duhallow, can they last it? That's the big question.
Mark claimed in the centre of the field by Seamus Hickey. Long ball inside towards the full forward line, but that's just picked up there at ease by Morris Shanley. He will eat those as if he's having a hot dinner every evening and popped it outside to Owen Deasy, who worked it to Jack O'Mahony. But that's not a great ball from O'Mahony. Might work out okay though, as Darragh O'Shea kept it in from going out, and that's a foul for a heavy challenge as the man went down there to pick up the ball. And feeling the effects of that there, Shane Hickey from a Duhallow point of view, but also so is Jack O'Mahony from a Clonakilty point of view.
Yeah, a heavy hit. Jack O'Mahony going down the ball, and Shane was in training with us with Cork this year for a while. He's a hardy lad as well, but he's feeling the effects as well. The conditions have improved definitely from the earlier game. The breeze is still strong, maybe not gusting quite as strong as it was for the earlier game, and the rain has eased and the sun is even out a little bit, so it's a little bit nicer for us here up in the top stand as well. But
whatever sunshine Noel brought from West Cork this evening.
Yeah, sunshine and hats for play to Noel, but no, it's cagey so far. We haven't got a score. Clon have been on top, but into the wind they'll be happy enough to keep it tight early on and hope that they can put scores on the board second half. But when you're on top, you have to take your chances too, and if they leave too many scores behind them, Duhallow will eventually come into this game.
Ball worked outside towards Shawnee White, down towards this near sideline. Here is Owen Deasy in possession now. Back on the loop is White. Heavy shoulder there, heavy hit on them. Clonakilty man, good tackles from both sides. Ball knocked out over the line by Conor Cahalane. It's going to be a Clonakilty line ball in front of the Clonakilty dugout. That's quickly taken by Owen Deasy into the centre of the park to Tom Clancy, as Clonakilty are trying to open up the width of this Páirc Uí Chaoimh field. He pops the ball nicely to Liam O'Donovan. We've seen him score from a Cork point of view. Long ball into the corner. Not the greatest of passes for Ross Mannix, who has to work hard to keep that ball in. Slips in trying to do the loop. That ball's knocked out over the sideline. And it's knocked out off the Clonakilty man's hand. Still no score after 10.5 minutes.
No, just of the two sweepers in both teams, Clancy is having more of an impact. He's involved in everything Clan are playing. So Bart Daly certainly is the quieter of the two. Just in relation to matchups, an interesting one there is Conor O'Callaghan is picking up Liam O'Donovan. Again, O'Donovan seems to be on top of him at the moment, has the legs in him. So that's an interesting matchup.
Good interception there by Sean McAvoy. And that allowed Clonakilty an opportunity to go for an attack forward as Joe Grimes took a slip, gathered his feet once again. And here is Sean White evading 2-3 tacklers, doing very well to bounce the ball in front of him. The referee pins him though for over carrying the ball. He had prior opportunity.
Yeah, you'd have to agree with that. He just about took too much there. But again, they're running at him, they're taking him on. It's their finishing that's letting him down.
So referee is going to be asking for the free to be retaken from the correct position as John McLaughlin gets an opportunity to get a possession and to go for a bit of a long bursting run up the near stand side as Kevin Crowley plays it back inside to Paul Walsh and over towards Paddy Allen from the Newmarket club. Switching the play to that far side of the field now. Sides still playing a bit of a chess match, trying to feel each other out as Paul Walsh picks up possession right in the centre of the park, looking to try and take it onto the heart of this Clonakilty defence as the Duhallow man going for a shot here. Mark Ellis, that's their first real shot from a Duhallow point of view, landing short into Mark White's hands.
Yeah, look, a little bit of a rash effort there for Mark Ellis. When you do play a strong wind, the temptation there can be to just have a punt from sometimes outside your scoring range, and that was an example of it. They got the ball down there, and having kept Clon scoreless early on despite the pressure, if they can go down and pick off a couple of points, it will be invaluable. But what are we, 12, nearly 13 minutes into the game, and we've no score yet, we'd be hoping for an improvement in the standard here soon, because it hasn't been great so far, to be fair.
No, it still really are both teams still trying to find themselves out. Clonakilty with 4 wides in this game already, still waiting for the opening score. Here is Shanley, work it down the line to David Lowney. I haven't seen much of this man so far from a football point of view. Involved with the hurlers in previous seasons. As a Clonakilty have a shot going in here from a standing start. An absolute exemplary score from number 9, Joe Grimes.
Yeah, great score there. You felt they were going around circles a small bit, but he saw the opening and went for it, and a great score from a tight angle. But like John said, you'd have to say it's very poor fare. I will probably give it to Clonakilty. They're taking him on a bit more, but you'd expect a bit more from Duhallow here, and they're very tentative. Maybe like we were saying.
Ball in for Conor O'Callaghan. Shot going in. Oh, bites the back of the net. In there from Jerry O'Connor. Well, you thought it was absolute poor fare. All of a sudden, this game has got the fireworks as if it was Halloween night.
Yeah, well, so look, it's 2 bits of quality in a row there, because you had the point from Joe Grimes at one end, which was a great score, but then Shane Hickey delivered a superb long pass inside there into Jerry O'Connor, and Jerry has got a great left foot. We've seen it for both we and Duhallow for a long time, and he finished it well. So look, hopefully that's the game opening up and livening up and wakening up. So more of that is what we're looking for.
As the sun begins to set, we will be looking for the floodlights towards the second half later on this afternoon as Garrod Barry switches the play towards that far side of the field, towards Liam O'Donovan. Now, what's Clonakilty's character? Well, this is going to be a response here from O'Donovan, taking it at the pace and pressure, bringing it forward to Jack O'Mahony. O'Mahony back outside the 45 and recycles back outside to the man who opened the scoring this afternoon after 13 minutes. Joe Grimes pops the ball down to Liam O'Donovan, work his way inside the 13-metre line. Poor shot though from an O'Donovan point of view. That ball going to be kept in from going out. Well, in fact, leaving it out there was Daniel Lennon for Clonakilty's 5th wide, and that is where the water break happens. 2 scores in the last 2 minutes. A minor score from a Clonakilty point of view, but a major going the way of Duhallow to break the deadlock.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that goal was as good a goal as you'd see in any grounds all over the country. I mean, superb ball in and a brilliant finish. But I suppose you've the opposite to that in relation to what Liam O'Donovan done there, you know. I mean, under no pressure and plenty time, you know, could have gone a bit further, and, you know, very poor kick in the finish. And it kind of sums up, you know, Clon's play here. You know, they're getting themselves in good positions, but the finishing product is very, very poor, to be honest.
Yeah, 100% agree with Noel there, in the sense that Clon have had all the possession and all the play and have been able to take it as far as the 45 to 35 yards out, but they're starting to struggle there and run out of ideas up top a little bit. Got their opening score, which was a great score, as we said, and then the first bit of constructive football that Duhallow put together, they get a goal out of it, you know, so that's a little bit of a psychological blow for Clon. But they need to regroup themselves here and say, look, we're the better here, but we need more accuracy and endeavour and more breaking the lines in the attacking side, and start to put scores on the board that are on the balance of play we should be getting. So, you know, look, at least that goal opens things up a little bit, and hopefully both teams will come out and attack this game a little bit more than they did for the early stages, which was quite tentative.
So, first quarter down, just the 2 scores. Truro Port, Joe Grimes with the opening point and Jerry O'Connor with the opening goal after a great ball across from Seamus Hickey. Great 40-yard pass, something similar to what Brian Hurley did in the opening half to find his brother Michael. Great score from Castlehaven point of view. The early stages of the second half as a mark claimed from the kick-out from Shane Hickey. Great mark claimed there. Worked the ball back to McLaughlin as Hickey after his services back once again. Man from Mill Street working the ball inside as Duhallow now trying to work the channels. Kevin Crowley, poor pass though, and that's a defensive mark to be claimed. Play on, says Owen DC. Let's keep the momentum going forward as Gerard Barry revolves back to Tom Clancy, back to Jack O'Mahony. Look how deep the Clonakilty full forward is. Oh, that's a bit of a ropey pass there on that occasion, but doing well was David Lowney, showing good experience in the Cork hurler. Working the ball outside to Jack O'Mahony. 16 minutes gone on the clock now. Just the 1 goal to the point. In the early stages, and well, the Clonakilty man getting away with that one was David Lowe, or in fact it was Ross Mannix who got fouled. Free for Clonakilty. Outside the halfway between the 45 and 65, and that far side of the field has to go all the way back to the sweeper, Tom Clancy, to try and engage in the play. Clancy pops the ball. That's a poor pass from Tom's point of view.
Yeah, look, a couple of poor passages of play from there from Clan, you know, hand passes going to ground and out over the line. But they don't seem to have the target inside in the full forward line, you know, or even the forwards at the moment aren't doing enough to get on the ball and win possession. Like I said, working it up towards the 45, relatively comfortable, but that's when they start to run out of ideas, and they're quite ponderous.
Shane Hickey spraying the ball to this near side of the field to Paul Walsh, bringing it up towards the 45-metre line, and not too many options inside from a Duhallow point of view. Movement is poor, I must say, as Bart Daly trying to get himself involved in the action to Paul Walsh now. And Walsh has to go back outside again to Alan Ryan from the Newmarket club. Play switched over towards the empty north stand side of the field. A decent crowd in for the first game, but not so much of an atmosphere for the second game. There's only 3 Duhallow men inside that 45-metre line, and not so many options to be offered.
Just, you know, both of them are a carbon copy of each other. You know, they're Clan are really they're playing a Duhallow system. Great score.
That's a great score. Great score from Donegal O'Connor, and that's the first time we've seen the Ballydesmond and Cork legend in action.
And I think, you know, just on Donegal there, you know, like, I suppose that's experience. You know, I mean, every play up to this, it's been very tight and very compact. Donegal made that 10 yards of space for himself and, was at ease kicking that score. So, you'd hope to see it opening up a bit more, but I can't see it happening. Clan are adopting a Duhallow style game here and are hoping to break them down. But it's hard viewing. It's hard viewing, and Clan need to put their shooting boots on here because it could pull away from them.
Sean White spraying that ball over towards the far side of the field to Ben Ridgway. Darragh O'Shea now in possession, but get out to the 65. Back out to Shawnee White. Ridgway back outside and on the loop. Darragh O'Shea. Between the triangle, they have to work it back outside. The triangle was closed off, and a chance for Tom Clancy to engage forward. Pops the ball to Ridgway. Ridgway just, when releasing the ball, had a heavy shoulder from the Duhallow man, and Bart Daly deep inside his half the field. As Duhallow, I should say, trying to work it out through Mikey Brown on the far side of the field now. Duhallow just really going through the motions, and very much like the UCC game, just slow really to get going, trying to find the opportune moment to push on forward as Paul Walsh now in possession on the near side to Shane Hickey, and very much just feels like that night in Park you're in the UCC Duhallow game. Duhallow come up by 2 points, but real cagey stuff here from Duhallow, isn't it?
Yeah, and look, Duhallow down the years have played this style, this kind of conservative numbers behind the ball and working the ball through the hands and hoping it to get forward to Donegal and Jerry O'Connor. It's not always pretty to watch, but it can be effective. But I think maybe from Clan's point of view, they've looked at this at the first half saying we're playing into a strong wind. We kind of keep it tight. We don't want the game to get away from us in the first half, and they might open up in the second half. They just seem to lack up top at the moment, and I wonder at some stage in the game will we see Tom Clancy go into the forwards, because it's something they've done before and he can be quite effective up there, and they definitely are lacking a target man at the moment.
Seamus Hickey in possession as the ball's worked inside towards Conor O'Callaghan, looking down for the mark, and that's the short mark taken there. Good effective use of the mark, and a chance for Donegal O'Connor to step up to this one to get his second point of the game. First from a set play, has only got the 15 seconds. Time is tight. He hasn't got a whole lot of time. He steps into it, just about making that time limit, and he gets the score going in between the posts, and that's a wanting score from a game point of view.
It is, but again, it was Donegal's, his experience was there to be seen again. Just one shake of the hips and made that 5 yards of space for himself and called the mark. But it's, look, Duhallow seem to be after taking control of this game, and Clan look like a team that are not used to playing this type of system, and like we're looking up here now with Shanley on the ball, and like there isn't a hope like they can put that ball inside there. They've no one to hit it into, so they're going to have to break the line here. Like,
I like the way you say shake of the hips. So I'd say you found it tough in training to mark Donegal O'Connor at times as the ball is worked inside towards Darragh O'Shea. A Hail Mary shot, switching the play over towards the far side of the exclusion zone. Well, at one stage you would have thought the Clonakilty man was going to come over, but they have an O'Shea who had the Gary Owen half blocked down there once again. And it's going to be taken away there on this occasion by Kyle Holland, who is going to have to try and find the man he does in his Kanturk teammate Paul Walsh.
Yeah, look, I mentioned earlier on that Darragh O'Shea is the Clonakilty scorer in chief. Hasn't been in the game, has had 2 shots there, one which skewed a long way away from the target and the other which was blocked down, so trying to get himself into the game but maybe forcing it a little bit, whereas as Noel said, on the other end Donegal just nice and calm, has only touched the ball twice and has got 2 scores, just on Donegal's score. I think the mark rule there, I think the 20 metre kick is just too short, isn't it? There's no real spectacle to see with a little 20 yard punt pass and a fella taking a mark. I think that should be extended to 30 metres, even potentially in Ole. I don't know what you think. Should it be from anything outside from the 45 to inside the 21 or something to that effect? Because there is some merit in it, but the way it is at the moment, it's too cheap to get a mark.
Something like the 50-22 in the rugby championship.
Something like that. Even that's what it's there for, is to encourage long kicking into the full forward line. So something from outside the 45 to inside the 21 might be of merit, but a little short chip pass like that, I don't think that adds a whole pile to the spectacle.
And from a Duhallow point of view, like they've only had 2 training sessions, and you can see it here because Darragh O'Shea breaking back inside in towards Joe Grimes. Grimes going off the left peg. That's the weaker foot from a Grimes point of view, and that is a blinding score from the Clonakilty midfielder.
Yeah, that's his second score, lads. You know, he's definitely taken it to Duhallow, but again, you know, great score, there's no doubt, but Duhallow are a lot more comfortable looking playing this type of system. Clan just look like a team that are, you know, it's their first day out really at it, and they have the signs of it, you know.
Ball worked inside in here towards Paul Walsh. Walsh looking for a good reply. He's drifting. Just stopped on the line by the 6'1" figure of Mark White on the line. White stepping out and popping it off to Maurice Shanley. And Shanley just trying to pop it outside. That's a poor one there now. As Clonakilty flooding numbers back. Duhallow, well, they're being conservative. They've got more numbers in the middle third of the field. There was a high tackle there on Donegal O'Connor, but referee says play continue on. As Conor O'Callaghan now in possession, you know, pins the ball over towards the far side. Interception on side there, but Duhallow still have possession. And chance here for Jerry O'Connor to set up the pieces. Finds Conor O'Callaghan free inside. O'Callaghan with the shot half blocked down, but he's got enough boot in it, enough energy to get in it, and sticks it over the bar.
A great score there. But again, you know, Clan were in a great position there. Paul Walsh had a kick, went short of the goalie. Young team, I would say you break fast at pace, but Clan are retreating. You know, they're retreating back. We can see it here. They've 9-10 players back the field, nothing to hit going forward, and you know it's not going to work against Duhallow.
Just making the exclusion zone just was Liam O'Donovan from the kick out of Mark White. It was close. Play continues on as Shanley plays it back out to Mark White, and this isn't the first time we've seen someone like Mark White to do this, and he's going to engage the sweeper to come forward. Well, one of the Duhallow men has to come forward as Daniel Lennon, and a chance of a mark being claimed, and John Hayes, you're smiling beside me as Ross Mannix takes the mark.
Yeah, look, it's interesting. I suppose Noel just talked about it. The previous attack, we looked at it, and there were 6 Clan players inside the 45 not breaking when they got the ball. All Mark White did there was put his head down, go straight, and put a bit of pace into it. And, you know, sometimes the simple thing is effective. Long ball in, and that's the kind of thing that is worth, you know, a long direct kick like that, and it ended up with a good score. So look, things have improved in the last 10-15 minutes, but yeah, it's still all to play for and still quite cagey, but it has improved.
Super score there from Ross Mannix. What a run indeed by Mark White. As I said, not the first time that the Clonakilty keeper has done that, wearing the red and white, or the green and red of Clonakilty, the red and white of Cork, and as David Lowney gets pinned for over carrying the ball. Free taken from the incorrect position, as well, one would have thought it wouldn't have mattered as Duhallow were playing backwards anyway. With no chance to play it forwards, and there's a 2-on-1 situation inside, but Jerry O'Connor gets the best of it. There's a man after going loose inside, just going away from Seamus Hickey, and in there was Tom Clancy to evade the tackle of Donegal O'Connor, and a chance for the counter-attack here from Clonakilty if they can break away at pace and pop the ball inside to Sean White. Did Lowney switching the play inside. Sean McAvoy, Garrod Barry inside to Owen Deasy. As Clonakilty now just settling back down. Darragh O'Shea pops up back outside to Garrod Barry, to the onrushing Liam O'Donovan. Poor ball though. Now allows Duhallow to get a chance, but Mannix got his body in on the line, and Mannix's jersey got pulled, and a shot here from a free from inside the 45 metre line, and now it just made that little bit simpler for kicking the ball away from a Duhallow defender.
Yeah, that's poor discipline now, because it was a tricky kick where it was, whereas in this position you'd expect Darragh O'Shea, he is a good kicker, you'd expect him to kick it over. Yeah, look, the game is settling into a little bit more of a pattern. You know, what did we wait? We waited about 13 minutes for our first score, and now we've got 8 scores on the board since. So an improvement in the fair, and Clan will be happy in the sense that they've started to put scores on the board where they were struggling earlier on, and a good response to the Duhallow 1-1 that they got there not so long ago.
So Darragh O'Shea converting that free, his first score of the afternoon. Inside the final 2.5 minutes here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, the final quarter-final. This game has very much a big bearing on the pairings of the semi-finals, and we'll touch on that a little bit later on. As Paddy Allen works that ball side to Bart Daly and spraying it over to the far side is John McLaughlin. Seeing Shane Hickey. Chance here now for Danny Lenihan from the Castle Magner Club. Cork under 20 star of a couple of years ago, and minor star as well. Played outside to finding Paul Walsh. wearing number 8, and good press by the Clonakilty men. So Walsh has to come back, played outside to Paddy Allen, and misjudged the bounce of that ball. Obviously, he hasn't been concentrating for the first 28 minutes to see the way the bounce of the ball has been going this afternoon. And what is superb conditions underfoot here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Kevin Crowley working the ball back inside and towards Seamus Hickey. Hickey going across the 45. Very stationary motions from a Clonakilty point of view. But Hickey going around 2, 3, 4, 5 defenders. Hickey getting a shoulder on. A free being come, and Hickey was fouled as he went inside. That's a superb run from Seamus Hickey from Rockchapel.
Yeah, great run there. You know, we're used to seeing Seamus making those types of runs. You know, bit of ill discipline by Clon there. You know, they had the hard work done. He was running out of road big time, but someone gave him a slight tug of a jersey and should be over. Just it's notable there as well. Thomas Clancy has moved back on Donegal. So it seems like he's going to sit back on Donegal now and try and do a job in him. So that'll be just an interesting pairing there now.
So, and this is an opportunity, you know, once again for Donegal O'Connor to tack on another score to his name, looking for his 3rd point of the afternoon. One from a free, one from I should say, and one from a mark. Because this to complete the set to tack in the free. Obviously, just doing some running repairs at Donegal O'Connor. And a chance now as we close out the 30 minutes of regulation. The man here from Ballydesmond stepping into this one, and the man from Ballydesmond converts the free. And the margin now reduced, or increased to 3 points, I should say. 1-4 to 4 points as we wait for the signal for the 4th official to give us the added on time. Shane Scanlon of Newcestown is our 4th official for this afternoon for both games. Great to see a young man involved. 1 minute of additional time to be played as Liam O'Donovan under pressure. Plays outside to Tom Clancy. Ball worked outside the 45-metre line as men stepping left and right as the rain starts to fall here once again as Sean White plays it back to Mark White. It was a dangerous ball, but Mark did very well to read that play back. And here comes the sweeper keeper forward once again. He's going to keep on going forward by the looks of it as forward comes Owen Deasy now. Pops the ball back inside to Darrow Shake. And Clonakilty reduce the margin one more time before half time as time is ticking here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. Sean White working inside the 65-metre line. Advantage coming from our official. No advantage accruing. So this is going to be a quick Clonakilty free. Not a lot of time to be added on as the Clonakilty man Shanley bursting in to try and take the free quickly. Mannix making a massive run inside. If they're going to play it backwards though, that is going to be the half-time whistle blown shortly here by our Ballygarvan official. He takes a look at the watch. He's allowing this to play, continue on as Danny Pease plays a long ball inside. Heavy hit there, and that's going to be a free in as well. Quickly taken here by Ben Ridgway. Pete stayed forward all the while, popped outside to Jack O'Mahony, evades 2 tacklers, allows the ball drop behind them, and that gives a chance to Donegal O'Connor to try and close out this first half here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh as Bart Daly, dangerous ball, done well to John McLaughlin. Here's Paul Walsh as referee. He's going to keep on going, adding on the time from Donegal O'Connor's shoelace is being tied. Shane Hickey turned back inside. Referee has a look at the watch. Play continues on. Paddy Allen, well over that minute of adding on time now at this stage, as Danny Lennon now breaks forward inside the 45-metre line. Very conservative here from a Duhallow point of view, but it's a long-range shot going all the way in, and the shot going in, and the shot going over the bar. Absolutely exemplary from Donegal O'Connor.
Yeah, again, but you know, in space, you know, the shot was on, went for it. You know, going back to Clon, I'm a bit negative on them in regards, you know, the way they're playing. You know, this game is there for them, but you know, the only way they take this game by the scruff of the neck is to go at Hollow. They're retreating. They're not using their pace. They have the players to break the line, but it's just retreat negative. You know, case in point, Sean free. Mannix inside made a run. It was a 30-yard pass into his paw, but no, back they went with it. Just very, very negative. And again, I just don't think they're comfortable at playing that game.
So 1-5 to 4 points Is the half-time score the crucial score of the game after the opening score coming from Joe Crimes? We had to wait 14 minutes for the opening score, but what a ball across the field from Seamus Hickey from inside the 65 in the far side of the field, finding inside Jerry O'Connor, beating the two Clonakilty men and burying it to the back of the net.
Yeah, look, it was the standout moment of quality in the first half. I think it was Shane Hickey, the wing back, put in a superb long ball, and it was buried by Jerry O'Connor. Look, just on that last score, it was very intelligent from Duhallow. He was out around the field, he's doing his boot up, and he just calmly and slowly came up with the play behind, and with the wind, when he lined up for it, I knew, he had a great chance of kicking that one over with the strong breeze. But it's what Noel's been talking about there in sense that Clon probably had the balance of the play, but they're 4 points down. It's a lot to do with their own kind of conservatism. Maybe lacking a little bit of physical strength up front as well. They're going to need more from their forwards. But perhaps they're kind of thinking, we played into the strong wind. We should have the legs on Duhallow, considering the amount of minutes that a lot of their players played this weekend. So, like what Noel said, if they can shake the conservatism and the kind of ponderous football, there's a great chance for them there to go and take this game and move on towards the semi-final, but they won't do it unless they open up and they get more out of their forwards.
And I think from what we've saw from a Clonakilty point of view, their shooting from long range has been quite decent, so they might fancy themselves playing with the wind in the second half to the City end.
Yeah, look, you'd have to. It's definitely the scoring goal today, but some of their selection there wasn't great. Liam O'Donovan, for such a good player coming back, looks a little bit rusty. Took a poor shot that Noel spoke about and had another kick pass which was intercepted. So it's not the greatest game we've ever seen, even if the quality did improve as the half went on. But both teams will be looking for improvement in the second half, and both teams, if they want to progress further in the championship, are going to have to produce better than what they showed in the first half.
I suppose another thing there, I suppose that that's quite obvious, and I suppose it's going to have a huge bearing on the game. Is you have to go back to the county men, really, right? We spoke about Liam O'Donovan. Not that he's playing a bad game, but he's certainly rusty looking, and Clon will need a bit more from him. Sean White, the same story. I mean, if Clon are going to win this game today, they need those guys stepping up a bit more here. And, it's a big ask, granted, but, that's why they're on the county panel. It's in these types of games, tight, hard games, you need those guys to step up. And I think, we saw Douglas and Nemo there a couple of weeks ago. When the need was greatest, I thought their countymen kind of stood up a bit. And you obviously need everyone else as well, to come up to the table. But they're really going to have to lead the charge here if Clonakilty have any chance.
So an interesting game. You look then down through the benches from a Duhallow point of view, and you're talking again about fellas that played yesterday and that didn't play yesterday. Who are you looking from a Ned English glasses point of view to see who you're going to bring on here?
Well, look, it's hard to know from the Duhallow perspective, as you said, depending on who played and who didn't. Someone like TJ Brosnan is a strong footballer, and then the guys who didn't start the game, including Dara Cashman, maybe Dara Moynihan might come into the game. So, guys like that could come into it, but they'll be relatively happy, having not played at all for 15 minutes, to come out and scored 1-5 then after such a slow start. And as I said, Duhallow has come into the game, and look, is he 39 or 40? No, you know better than me. But look, he's still producing, and that's not easy considering he's played 2 games this weekend. And I just think something that Noel picked up on there a while back was that Thomas Clancy was gone back to Markham, but I'm not sure that's a positive for Clon. In the second half, I wonder will they change it again, because you could put Maurice Shanley back there, and Maurice Shanley will do the marking job. And yes, Maurice Shanley is a good runner out the pitch, but he's not as good a kicker as Tom is. So if Tom came out the pitch, I think he'd probably use the ball and maybe kick a couple of points and find the inside forwards a little bit better. So look, it'll be interesting to see. The Clon management have a little bit of thinking to do, and we'll have to earn their corn now.
Let's just change topic for a moment. The Congress took place last week, Noel, and Proposal B, I suppose, getting the slight majority of the room, but not this 60% required to change the championship. Just your thoughts on that. It didn't go through, but what do you think?
Yeah, I suppose I'll be shot for this, but I'm more of a traditionalist, really, you know. Now, the idea is very, very good, to be fair. I think, you know, there's never anything bad about having more games. But, you know, it'll probably take another bit of time to convert people, and, you know, it will get there eventually, I think.
So what when you say a traditionalist, what are you happy to stay as we are?
Again, I suppose, you know, Munster finals and Leinster finals and the likes, you know, they still, in my mind, you know, mean an awful lot to me personally, and it's more of a traditional thing for me, really. I suppose structure-wise, it certainly makes a lot of sense for the weaker counties, all right, you know, Plan B, but it'll probably still take a bit more time, you know.
So can I ask you then, and this hasn't been mentioned, would you be happy then to go back to the Super 8s, to have your Munster final and then bring your 4 winners, 4 losers into an 8-team competition?
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, I think that's, I'd much rather in that sense, yeah, no doubt. But it's interesting times ahead. Look, I think eventually, you know, there will be change there, but guys, I just think that we're not ready for that yet.
John Hayes?
Yeah, look, Noel probably won't be surprised that I'm going to disagree with him. You know, I
just... Wouldn't be the first time in training you don't feel it?
No, definitely not. Asher, he was always pulling and dragging, you know, but... no, look, I think in that sense, I know where Noel's coming from, but I don't think it's worth holding up progress for the sake of, you know, a Munster final or a Connacht final or this, that and the other. The one thing I do agree with, in whatever system they come in, you do want to keep your Cork versus Kerry, and you want to keep your Galway versus Mayo, and your Dublin versus Meath, and your Armagh versus Tyrone, and those kind of traditional games as well going. But I don't think it's worth holding up progress. I think, for me personally, I think the back door took a lot of the lustre away from the provincial finals day one, you know. When they were brought in, the provincials became that little bit less valuable, and that's become even more pronounced as the years have gone on. And obviously, you know, a few teams have gone away from the pack and the other teams are struggling, and we're having total mismatches in the provinces. Now there's an element of that where the counties who are behind, some of which our own county included, and the likes of Meath and maybe Galway, that we have to get our house in order and be more competitive, and would bring back some bite to the championship and all that kind of thing. But I think change is a must. I think, you know, the inter-county season is too long and protracted, and always has been, and there's too many games dragged out over a long period of time, whereas you want to shorten it into 5-6 months at the most, and have regular a league-based round robin proceeding into championship games, whatever way it looks. Again, you could split it maybe into north and south and 2 groups, and that way you kind of keep your Cork and Kerry together, and put Galway and Mayo down into the south, and Dublin and Meath, so you have more competition. It's very difficult, no doubt, to get the exact one, and you know, lots of good people have tried, and lots of committees have tried, and everything else like that. But for me personally, I think change has to come, and I'd be hopeful that something will come around again sooner rather than later.
Noel's bursting to get back in.
No, just I suppose something I want to throw at John, and probably you as well, Pat, and it's moving away from the thing is smaller, but just touching Tyrone this year, you know, just an interesting thing they came out with there in relation to their training schedule. And again, I suppose, John, you haven't been involved this year. I'm just curious of what you thought. But 3 days in the week they trained, which, you know, compared to most inter-county teams, I thought was quite small. And you know, to me, it was an interesting one. You know, was it a case that, you know, it kept the players fresh, and, you know, like, to me, it seems you'd want a huge amount of discipline, you know, to go with that type of a system. But I just want to throw that out there to see what John thinks.
Yeah, well, look, just the year that was in it was a little bit different, because, you know, it didn't start until April, and it was a short league, and then straight into kind of a knockout provinces. And look, the 3 times a week, that was an imposed COVID restriction as well. So every county, you know, was collectively three days a week. So this year, having been involved, it was hard to judge it against any other year because it was a different kind of season,
Okay, let's cut that for the moment. We might come back to that maybe later on, and we've an opportunity here in front of us here to see Duhallow out in front of us as Ned English and the two sideline officials and Alan O'Connor have a chat down in front of us. Noel, what's this going to do now? Obviously we know that Duhallow playing so defensive as the programmes start to take off completely from us here in the south stand. What's going to happen here in this second half?
Yeah, I still have a slight fancy for Clan, I'll be honest. I just think if they'll open their shoulders a small bit and take Duhallow on a bit here, that they're in with a big chance. But Duhallow, I suppose the plus for Duhallow is their experience, and they're showing all of it here at the moment. But like I say, if Clan can get rid of this negative kind of football that they're playing and just open the shoulders a small bit and try and break the line a bit more, then you could see Duhallow tiring a small bit. But it just remains to be seen whether they'll adopt that style or not.
So Alan O'Connor getting ready to throw in the ball for the second half. 1-5 to 4 points at half time.
Just there, John touched on it. Tom Clancy is staying inside full back, which again I agree with John on that one. I think he'd be more beneficial out the field, but they feel Duhallow is a threat there, so they're sticking him inside. Second
half of this Bunsecure's Premier Senior Football Championship third quarter final is underway. Tie C in the draw, and there is a change on the Clonakilty substitution. Danny Peat has been withdrawn for Conor Daly. It's an interesting call. We might touch on that in a moment. Does that mean Clonakilty are going to go more aggressive in this second half? Paul Walsh in possession from a Duhallow point of view. Walking it outside to Seamus Hickey. Hickey now in possession to Bart Daly. Long ball looking for the mark inside. That's a great mark claimed. Super mark claimed inside here by Jerry O'Connor. And a chance for Jerry O'Connor now from the mark about 30 metres out against the wind. And as the breeze starts to pick up and the rain starts to fall here in Páirc Uí Chaoimh, the lights aren't on yet, but Jerry steps into this one and the mark converted.
Just on that, Pat, you were wondering whether Clonakilty were going to adopt a different style, but to me, no. You still had a vast amount of players back the field and only about 2 or 3 players up front. That's not going to work in my eyes.
That was close from being caught inside the 20-metre line. Referee happy enough to leave play continue on as Lowney pops the ball back inside to Tom Clancy. 5-point lead now for the divisional and college winners. Involving a cracking semi-final last year, we brought you live in the Examiner when they were defeated by Nemo in a belter in Páirc Uí Chaoimh. That famous day in October the 4th, walking down inside is Joe Grimes. Grimes, well, there's a high hand over the shoulder of Grimes, dragged to the floor. Won't be a black card, but it'll be definitely a noting to the name of John McLaughlin.
Yeah, look, might have been a bit lucky to get it the free, and they were definitely lucky at the other end because Tom Clancy was inside the 21 when he picked up that ball, so it should have been called back for a throw in on the 21. Big kick here now for Darragh O'Shea.
So Darragh O'Shea looking to reduce the margin back down once again. He's already got a point from a place ball earlier in the first half. Not the greatest of strikes, just tricks over the bar. That would have been a square ball if that Clonakilty forward affected it, but it cleared the crossbar, and it goes down as a score.
Just a quick one there in relation to Grimes midfield. Like Clon can be very, very grateful, lads, that they have Grimes at midfield, because he's the only one that's really taking the game to Duhallow here. Definitely their standout player today.
I formation close in the box from a Duhallow point of view. Kick out going long down towards this near sideline. It's going to bounce heavy. Clonakilty keeping it in from going out. Sean McAvoy didn't have the same script read by his teammates, and Paul Walsh advancing forward now, looking to try and get a complimentary score, but a complimentary wide is what he's going to be picking up.
Yeah, look, Paul is probably someone that Duhallow are going to be looking for a bit more from as well. He's a fine athlete and he's a good footballer, but it's a big mistake here now.
Big mistake here. Donegal Connors picked up the loose pass and it's gone in and it's gone over the bar.
Yeah, no, look, Mark with a poor kick out there, and Mark is a very, very good goalkeeper. He's very talented, but he has the occasional blunder like that in his kickouts, and that could have been a goal as well.
Not the greatest the kickouts either, because it went straight down on top of Paul Walsh. Walsh seeing the ball being worked inside, hand in there from Seamus Hickey, but going down and picked up by Tom Clancy. Ridgway gets back to his feet. Here is Liam O'Donovan offloading to Mark White. Not the greatest that passes back, but O'Donovan has got the ball back. He's happy enough to play it back out to the sweeper keeper. Long ball from Mark White, ricocheted off one of the Clonakilty men. It's going to work out okay. Here's Ross Mannix, popping the ball back inside, over the top, and Joe Grimes, all back to himself, pops the ball inside, one-on-one situation. Grimes kept running. Grimes, he just couldn't keep a grasp of the ball. Would have been an unbelievable team goal, but just goes down, and Duhallow escape with the lightning.
Yeah, well, look, brilliant work from Joe Grimes again, but I think it was Ross Mannix got that, and I don't know did he realise, but the defender slipped when he turned, and he was 14 yards out from goal with the ball in his hands as a corner forward. He shouldn't have been looking to pass that. That should have been a shot on goal by himself.
Duhallow now trying to break away out of possession. Donegal Connor with possession. An absolute bitter evening here, and Parker still waiting for the lights. That ball is broken. Joe Grimes is then up the floor, fouled there.
Yeah, guys, look, we just touched on it there earlier. I mean, Joe Grimes is having a fantastic game here. He's single-handedly keeping Clonakilty in this game. It's up to the rest of them to rise to him now. He's setting the standard here, but Clon are just all over the shop, to be honest with you. That's a very wayward pass across the field there. Again,
it's going to
have it. Yeah,
it's going to work out okay, because Conor Daly's got possession, walks outside to Jack O'Mahony, settles his feet. Well, he's going to dink it inside, looking for Mannix inside the 30-metre line. No. I'm not sure what he blow the whistle for.
Yeah,
referee blew the whistle. I'm not sure what the whistle is blowing for. And the play continues on. He thought it was going to be a mark.
Yeah, and it was off-putting, to be fair.
It was a mile inside the 45-metre line is where he kicked it from. The play continues on, and Paul Walsh now, Duhallow back in possession. Bit of a wayward kick all the same, as all of a sudden the lights just come straight on. There's a flick of a switch. It's turned on in the sitting room, and what was looking like a spooktacular dark evening is turned into the bright lights under Páirc Uí Chaoimh here on this Sunday evening. Donegal Connor fouled outside the 45-metre line, and Donegal Connor has been pulled off here. The problem with Donegal Connor here, his shoelaces are gone again. Referee's going to stop the watch. A chance here now for teams to settle themselves back in.
A little mistake from the referee on the other side, where he blew for a mark, even though the kick was inside the 45, and it seemed to kind of put Ross Mannix off. Donegal seems to be struggling with that boot a lot. He's been down 3 times to do it. Technically speaking, the referee's not supposed to let him stop the play. He's only supposed to stop the play for a head injury. Oh, that's a huge hit.
That's a huge hit. Absolutely monster hit by Joe Grimes on Danny Lenihan, and Lenihan is feeling the effects of that.
He's feeling the effects, but again, like Grimes is setting he's setting the bar here. He means business, and it's up to the rest of them to like we're saying. They need to rise it up a level here. I'm quite disappointed with Sean White. Donegal is having much the better of their battle there. But again, I'm not ruling Clon out here. I feel there could be a kick in Clon if they can just take him on, break the line, and get that ball in a bit quicker.
Let's have a look at the replay here as Donegal Connor played that ball back, and Grimes. Well, is that yellow card warranted, lads?
I think it probably is. It was a little bit high. It was just a little bit high up around the shoulder. Not quite head high, but up around the shoulder. And it was kind of, he came in a little bit close fist as well. So I think yellow card warranted. I don't think anything more than that, though. The lights are coming on and off in here. If they could switch on a couple of heaters, we might be better off.
Sure would indeed. It's quite a cold evening, and unfortunately for John Hayes, he's after having a long stint this afternoon. Noel O'Leary happy enough to brandish out a couple of blue and white hats supporting some crowd in Midwest Cork called Kill the March for the afternoon. As Liam O'Donovan back in possession now. Turning attentions back to the game as Sean White walking that ball over towards that far side of the field. 8.5 minutes gone in the second half. Not a whole lot happening. Good ball we walked inside though. And the question was Ross Mannix taken out of it. Off the ball there. Referee says no. Goes down as a wide ball.
That last ball, it was never on. I mean, he was double marked inside. I'd have gone the opposite side. It was 1-on-1, but again, like Clon, it's just very scatty. It's a bit all over the place. You feel if they don't kind of take this game by the scruff of the neck, and then in the next couple of minutes, this could go away from them. And Duhallow here now are breaking with
ball spread over to the far side from Kevin Crowley, over towards Conor O'Callaghan, looking to get himself into the score sheet, but that's a poor wide from Conor O'Callaghan.
Should have punished him there. I mean, again, loads of time on the ball, no one near him, and could have taken a few more steps. Poor finish.
So a chance for Mark White to restart. From a kick out, goes straight from the ground as well. Does the Clonakilty keeper. Loves kicking off the ground. In fact, there was a tee there. It came out off the ground in the end. So the ball's kicked over towards Lowney over on that far side of the field. And it's back with Mark White once again. And this is an interesting tactic, as here Donegal O'Connor now is going to try and meet and stop Mark White's run. But good long ball over the top. Look at White taking a run off the shoulder here from Jack O'Connor, or Jack O'Mahony I should say. White coming around on the outside, evades a tackle, plays the ball outside to Ben Ridgway, sees a runner inside, Gapey inside towards Sean McAvoy. McAvoy, there's runners left and right. McAvoy with the free shot going in, it's going to the back of the net. Oh, it's got away. The referee had blown the whistle though. Oh.
Yeah, I think he'd blown the whistle, but that was interesting from Clan. I'd be honest with you, impressed enough with it. Their full forward line moved 30 yards out the field with Mark White coming in against them, and they double backed in. They looped around and created an extra man inside. If they can create a few more of them opportunities, they'll bring themselves right back into it.
I think it's what you touched on earlier there. The game is absolutely there for Clon if they're good enough to go for it and take it. I'm looking again inside the full back line, and they've got Tom and Morris back there, and with the strong wind, I'm not sure they need both of them. Now, having said that, look, that's probably Duhallow's danger line inside with Donica and Jerry, but Duhallow coming here breaking through.
They've got some space coming forward here as Conor O'Callaghan offloads the ball to Shane Hickey. Hickey trying to burst through 2 or 3 tackles, plays it back outside out towards Shane Hickey. Shane with the shot to the man to Mill Street. That's a great response, super response against the wind from the divisional side.
And Shane's after a fine game actually, delivered the long ball for the goal. I think caught a fine mark at one stage in the first half, and that was a great score. So he's played well.
The ball walked forward quickly, but it's been intercepted here on the half-back line by Kevin Crowley. Crowley pops the ball back to Paddy Allen. That's a poor pass back from Allen when he slipped on his feet. And a chance for Darragh O'Shea. Ball walked away inside. Clonakilty with a chance. That's a free out though. Exactly. Lazy foot there by Conor Daly to take the Duhallow man out of it. That was John McLaughlin, and McLaughlin is just injured. He says he's okay, ref. I'll continue on as I am.
Yeah, that was a big opportunity for Clon, and they've had a couple of opportunities where it's opened up for them and they could have created goal chances, and now they have another one here.
Well, they have half a goal chance anyway as Ross Mannix breaks onto the breaking ball, scoops the ball back outside to Daly. Daly on the loop, pops the ball outside to Joe Grimes. He's got 2 great points already in this game. Dangerous ball inside, but keeper was brave, was Carl Allen of Kanturk. Brave man breaking out, and Mikey Brown with possession as Duhallow now trying to get away out of defence. John McLaughlin on 1-2 breaks the ball outside. Here's Shane Hickey now. Hickey down this near stand line. Duhallow leading by 5 points in what has been a very nervous game from both sides as Donegal O'Connor plays the ball inside to Kevin Crowley. Looking to try and switch the play, but Crowley's just too much heat in that cold ball and it's gone out over the sideline.
I don't know what you think, lads, but if I was Clan, I'd go man for man now. They're 5 points down. They're playing a game that, being honest with you, I don't think any one of them are comfortable at. Like they're trying to bring bodies back. They're moving to the men on the ball. Duhallow are creating extra men. They're just not comfortable. I'd go man to men and try and get the legs on them a bit, because this game will slip away from them unless they try something.
David Lowney walking up ball inside to Joe Grimes. Back outside to Lowney as Grimes was half fouled. Ball walked away inside, but Sean White just didn't read the transcript. And that gave it an opportunity for Duhallow to try and break out of the defence. And there's a sweeper back for Clonakilty. So the overlap isn't quite on as Conor O'Callaghan receives possession back from Mark Ellis over on that far side of the field. And O'Callaghan just comes back to bring more Duhallow players back into the action. And here is Alan Ryan from the centre of the field, offloading to Danny Lennon from the Castle Magner club. And possession back now with John McLaughlin. And I hate using the word, but it is quite negative football, isn't it?
Yeah, but look, Duhallow are fine. They're 5 points up, and they're comfortable with this, and it's a style of football they are comfortable with. And look, the way things Clan have got 6 points after 45 minutes. Maybe they'll change at the water break. Maybe that's their time to make the changes Noel is talking about. But they've had 2 good chances in the second half now to create goals or score goals, and they might need one.
And Duhallow might have a goal chance themselves here as Conor O'Callaghan shifts that ball inside, transfers to Mark Ellis, half block down. That's a great block. Great block by the covering defender. Owen Deasy it was. And the ball gone out for a 45.
Yeah, great block from Owen Deasy. And, you know, something that Noel is touching on, all Clan's kind of big players are playing in the back six, and Joe Grimes obviously at midfield. You know, they probably need to take at least 1 or 2 of them out of the full back line, half back line, push them forward, and they need to take a chance at this stage. Certainly after the water break, you'd expect them to maybe go for this game a little bit more.
So it is a chance here now for Kevin Crowley to try and stitch over this 45, the man from Mill Street stepping into this. This is curling, not curling enough though, going right and wide.
But just on that goal opportunity, again, you know, like Clan had bodies back, but
water break's going to be taken here.
They're very confused, you know. They're neither pushing nor they're kind of holding their line. I just think they're not suitable to this type of game. And like John touched on it there, you know, like maybe move out their big players, try and get them on the ball out around the middle and create something.
Surely Sean White to centre forward, maybe it's something like this. He's played a lot of football at centre forward. He's good at it. He gets on the ball well and creates things. He's not in the game at wing back. Put Darragh O'Shea into the full forward line. Gives a little bit more of a target and a little bit more of a threat inside. They've got the solidity defensive wise. They're okay defensive wise. I wouldn't say they're perfect, but they're okay defensive wise. Just up top, they're not creating enough. They're not threatening enough, and they need to make changes on the line as far as I can see it.
So not a whole lot to report. Duhallow winning that quarter, 3 points to 2 points from Jerry O'Connor, Donegal O'Connor and Shane Hickey, and a pair of points from a Clonakilty point of view coming away of the boot of Darragh O'Shea. But Clonakilty had goal opportunities in that game, in that quarter I should say. 2 of them, it looks like they've scuppered.
Yeah, and they were great chances. I'm not sure was it Ross Mannix or Conor Daly who got the first one when his defender slipped and he tried to give the extra pass. The old Arsenal adage about trying to walk it in. He should have turned, taken 2 steps and had a shot. That was a great opportunity, and they might regret those. It's hard to see them scoring, like if it's hard to see them scoring the 6, 7 or 8 points that they're going to need the way they're playing. So a goal could be crucial for Clan. At the moment, it's Duhallow's to lose.
Restarting the clock for this final quarter of the quarterfinals. Heavy challenge there in the air by Joe Grimes. He's been a warrior, but Duhallow have numbers coming forward now as Mark Ellis offloads outside to Donegal O'Connor. He just was thinking about going for a shot, offloads the ball inside to Conor O'Callaghan, fumble the ball outside to Mark Ellis, doesn't shoot. Kevin Crowley does shoot. The Mill Street duo team up for the Duhallow's latest score.
That was a crazy ball from Mark White there. You know, he kicked it down the middle. Lowney was outside 45 yards all on his own. There wasn't a man within 30 yards of him, and Mark went down the middle. It was a criminal ball to give.
The ricochet off the shin of Conor Daly could work out. Okay, well, that's not the greatest that passes back outside, but he does very well from keeping it in, from going out of play. Watched closely by Crosshaven official Brian Connery. Now he's bottled up in a tackle and bounces the ball out over the sideline. It's going to be a Duhallow line ball.
Conor Daly's a young player who came in at half time. I think he's minor. He ran an awful long way there, and I didn't see one player show for him. No one showed for him. So he ended up being turned over and losing possession over the sideline. I think it's John McLaughlin is down here now with an injury. Again, technically speaking, I think the referee is only supposed to stop it for a head injury. But
the only thing is, if he does add on the injury time, like you give him the benefit of the doubt. It is McLaughlin, the Cantork man.
No, it's a genuine injury. I think with John, there's no doubt with John. Very tough guy. If it's a genuine injury and he needs attention, then that's fine. But the rule was brought in to stop fellas going down with cramp and this, that, and the other. I think generally the game's supposed to go ahead unless it's a head injury. But look, we'll see how it goes.
We saw that over the last 2 weekends here on the Irish Examiner. Guys going down with cramp. Obviously, John McLaughlin has a problem with a knee/ankle problem, but the doctor is happy enough to leave him play on. Dr. Brian O'Connell and David Anglin, the physio for Duhallow. As the ball's walked inside, sloppy from Shane Hickey. Mark Ellis ran straight over the ball, and that's good pick up there from Jack O'Mahony. Outside to Owen Deasy now, as Clonakilty now starting to flood forward again with Sean White. Pop the ball outside to Liam O'Donovan. Shot going in here, long range, going all the way in. That's a great score. That's a great score there, and it looks like to me Conor Daly. Is it? Garrod Barry it is.
Yeah, look, good score from Garrod Barry. Wouldn't be renowned for his long distance shooting, but that just shows the strength of the wind and the chances that are there for Clan. Look, myself and Noel sound like a broken record, but they have to abandon
crack CD if you ask me.
Yeah, they have to abandon this conservative approach and go for this game. They're 5 points down, probably, with injury time, 13-14 minutes left. What are they waiting for to kind of throw off the shackles?
So a chance here for Sean White from the sideline ball. 5 points to margin. Deep in this game with about 11 minutes left of the clock. Well, Seamus Hickey is standing all over him. Referee allows play continue, and that is a foul from Seamus Hickey, a punch. A close-handed fist, I should say, rather than a punch. Seamus Hickey not even going the ball, and that's not the Mill Street man. Just needs to get out the way as the ball's brought forward for descent, and Darragh O'Shea now plays that ball quickly back to Ridgeway, back to O'Shea. O'Shea now thinking for a shot. O'Shea with the long range shot. O'Shea just going outside, right inside and wide, and in there, referee. Well, there was a late tackle on the keeper inside, and Curl Holland. I think he just got a bump off the post there from the Clonakilty man who was flying in.
I think John touched it there in relation to switch it up a bit in the full forward line, and Clan have done that. They've gone with Grimes now at full forward as a target man, I would imagine. So, Clan.
Just see this replay here as the Clonakilty man came in. Holland just came a hand across Holland. Grimes got a belt to the post as well for good measure, and just some concern here for Holland.
I think he'll be okay. I'd say there's a bit of Clint Eastwood in this, I'd say, but anyway, no, I think if Grimes stays inside, he could be an option for a long ball in, and has played very well all through the game. So, could be an option there.
You didn't do that Clint Eastwood too much in your days, did you?
No.
In case you didn't hear that, I said, I'm afraid now is what he said, is Clonakilty have won the kick-out, poor kick-out from Holland. Grimes under pressure, takes a bounce of the ball, was fouled earlier in the phase, and that gives another opportunity here now for Duhallow, or for Clonakilty to try and tack on another score.
Yeah, big kick here now, bring it back to 4 points. And yeah, he's nailed it. Just under the, it's got a little bit scrappy, Nolly, and I think that'll suit Duhallow in trying to close out the game. Having said that, then Clan have just tacked on 2 points in a row. Do you think there's the possibility of a comeback here for Clan in the last 10 minutes?
Yeah, I think it's within Clan, all right. Yeah, you see, Clan are changing it up now. O'Shea now has gone into full. Well, he's moving out here now, but they seem to alternate it a bit there with Grimes and O'Shea. So Clan are changing it up a bit here, and it seems to be doing the trick. They're bringing themselves slowly back into the game, but Duhallow are just getting bodies back and squeeze it up around the middle.
Oh, this is crucial. Toe poke there from Joe Grimes. As the Clonakilty man went down, well, the way Alan O'Connor has been refereeing this game, he's very consistent when guys are going down for the ball. And Duhallow now trying to break it out through the channels. 4 points in it. So fast 8 minutes, but teams are just a bit sketchy and a bit nervous around the ball. Ball obviously wet from the conditions earlier on as Conor O'Callaghan now breaks forward. Long ball inside towards Paul Walsh, looking to try and evade the tackle of Liam O'Donovan. No advantage. Play continues on. No foul, says the referee. As Donegal O'Connor now breaks outside to Shane Hickey. And Hickey spraying the ball to that far side where he sees John McLaughlin, the Kanturk man, breaking forward over towards that far side. Here's Kevin Crowley, who got the latest Duhallow point. Nearly 4 minutes ago now at this stage, as Donegal O'Connor sees Crowley back on the loop once again. Crowley off the left peg, long ball. Oh, it was a great ball in. Great thinking, in fairness. Just ran away from Danny Lenihan. And it's a chance here now for Mark White. And here comes White now on one of these big long solo runs. Look at the big stature of the man from 6'1" from Clonakilty breaking forward as Ben Ridgway sees that possession. Should have turned right. Ridgway kept going though. Mark White is on his own over this near side. They haven't seen him over this side. Now they do as Shanley passes out to White. White's thinking about going for goal. Back outside to Shanley. Shanley brings it into the square. Outside to Conor Daly. And that is much better from a Clonakilty point of view. The margin down to 3 points.
Well, we're gonna have to put that record back on again, I'm afraid, because it's exactly what we've been saying. Clonard take him on. They're taking him on at pace, and it's notable. Duhallow seem to be tiring a small bit here. Clon seem to have the legs, but like, can they get the ball in quick enough, Clon? That's the question.
Well, margin down to 3 points. We're in for what has been a quite calm game and poor fare at times. We're in for a real exciting finish here as the Duhallow man has touched that ball on the ground. Danny Lennon, free taken quickly by Grimes, long ball in. Mark can't be claimed because it's from a set play, so play continues on, walking it over towards that far side of the field. Here is Grimes. He played that long ball in only moments ago. He's going in down by the byline. Is he brought to the ground? Referee says he's going back. That wasn't the foul. He says he's going back for the advantage from earlier on when Grimes was first fouled outside the 20-metre line.
Yeah, and look, it's Clonakilty's main man on the day, Joe Grimes, doing the business again, and I think Noel touched on it. We'd like to see more of that from the rest of the Clan players, but tip this over, 2 points in it, and the momentum is with him, and the wind is behind him.
And it's there. I
still think it might be worthwhile for Tom Clancy, maybe a switch with Owen Deasy. Owen Deasy's a fine defender. I'm sure he could do the job inside and bring Tom out and see if he can influence things further out the pitch as well.
So Darragh O'Shea with the latest score from Clonakilty, and 2 points the margin now. Mark could have been claimed, but Mark Ellis left the ball go. Liam O'Donovan fouled him in the centre of the field, and look at all the space, the forward line. Only 3 men inside the 45-metre line, and Duhallow now have to go backwards, and they're back inside. 2 points is the difference as conditions start to cool down, but the heat on the field is starting to rise. Paul Walsh now in possession, under pressure now here from Ross Mannix, and an interception. Ball walking forward, Ben Ridgway walking down towards Darragh O'Shea, looking to reduce the margin to 1 point, and they've done it.
Yeah, great score, but again, came from ponderous play by Paul Walsh. Duhallow are slowing it down. Clonakilty are ramping up. It's the perfect mix, like, for Clon to bring this game.
The atmosphere is starting to rise here as that line ball taken from Liam O'Donovan. They're looking to try and level the game. The goal could be on here if they went quick enough for it. He's gone inside. Sean McAvoy hadn't passed the ball over the bar, and all of a sudden we're back to a level game for the first time since the 14th minute since the first score of the game.
Yeah, just looking at Liam O'Donovan, he seems to be hobbling a little bit, maybe finding the pace a bit much after missing a lot of football. Clon are back in this game. They've come into this game a lot more in the last 5 minutes, but Duhallow only have themselves to blame a little bit. If you think back to about 90 seconds ago, they had a free kick on the halfway line. They had 2 men open in the forward line. They decided to go backwards. Paul Walsh coughed up possession by being too casual, and Clon have ended up get the score from that. Kick out goes over the sideline. Another score, all square. Duhallow need a score from this attack.
Long ball going in, and that's not going to work out. That's a defensive mark claimed inside the air, and here's Tom Clancy walking forward. Ball's walked across, and now we're at a level game. We're at a junction now where result on the day does matter, and if we do go to a draw, we're going for that magical word or magical 2 letters of ET and possibly PEN. Long way to go yet though. Here's the sweeper keeper, Mark White, outside to Jack O'Mahony. Long range shot, going to land short, in towards the parallelogram. Ross Mannix is underneath it, climbs highest. Ball ricochets around, works out. Sean White with the shot, and White with the score. And that's Clonakilty's 7th point in a row in this game.
Yeah, great finish there from Sean White. You know, myself and Noel have remarked that he wasn't overly conspicuous in this game. But, you know, at a crucial moment, pops up with a crucial score. It's all Clan now. It's all Clan. Duhallow have it in the legs to see this out?
Yeah, and look, you'd have to say fair play to Sean White. You know, we remarked it in half time. You know, an inter-county player, you know, he needs to be stepping up in these situations, and that's a crucial score. Now, while he has been quite Sean White, again, you know, at a crucial moment, he's kicked a crucial score. And you know, lads, to be fair, I know Mark White has had an up and down day today, right? But you have to touch on Mark White here as well. You know, he's showed huge leadership and huge, I hate to say it, but huge courage as well. You know, coming out the field and taking the game to Duhallow. I wouldn't be a favourite of it, but you have to give him credit.
Just looking aside, just as crucial here. Look, yes, absolutely. Ross Mannix took Danny Lennon out of the ball, which then in turn tripped the corner forward for Clonakilty, and the referee and Brian Connery absolutely right, giving a free for Clonakilty for taking the third man out of the tackle. Duhallow now getting the free, and they're going to try and push on forward here, looking to try and level up the game. This is the first time now they've been behind in this game as Mark Ellis breaking through. Ellis, was he fouled? Ball bobbles up and it's bobbled out of his hand and is gone. And a chance for Mark White. Well, he's under pressure. On the loop is Tom Clancy. Clancy settled things back down, back outside to Morris Shanley, and Shanley now walking back through the channels. Owen Deasy and Clonakilty now looking to just try and wind down the clock, but there's a bit of time left. We're inside the final minute of regulation time.
I think a bit of tiredness there by Mark Ellis. You know, he went for the gap, but he just didn't have the legs to get away, and like, that's acceptable, to be fair. The man played a game yesterday, and he's bound to be showing a bit of fatigue.
So winning a free back there, Jack O'Mahony, as referees coming out for the time added on. Clonakilty 7 points in a row, conceded a goal in the 15th minute. Clonakilty led 1 point and no score when Jerry O'Connor got that goal. So Clonakilty in the lead for the first time in over 44 minutes. And it looks like to be there possibly going to be 3 minutes of added on time. Duhallow need to push on forward and engage the sweeper forward.
Yeah, and that's the flip side now. You know, Duhallow tend to drop deep and play deep, so they have to come out, try and press high on Clonakilty and look for turnovers and hope to get a score. But look, we said 5 minutes ago that it was in Duhallow's hand to win it. It's in Clonakilty's hands now.
3 minutes and 3 made, confirmed by our fourth official, Shane Scanlon, instructed by Alan O'Connor, is now playing at the space over on the far side. Mark White in possession over on the far side. Donegal O'Connor telling his players to engage, come forward, try and defend off him. Oh, classy stuff from Mark White, and wins are free. That is, whatever about Joe Grimes, lads, Mark White has had an influential effort in the last quarter here.
Yeah, definitely. And look, Noel, he just mentioned it. He's shown courage in coming out with the ball. He's not a bit afraid to go all the way up the pitch. He's going to have a go off this free now as well, I think, with a strong wind behind him. Kill maybe 20-30 seconds and put it dead.
He has got distance here. We've seen this do it against Dublin, against Tyrone in Super 8s in 2019. He is capable of doing this, and this will be a well rewarded score if it goes all the way. It's going to trail right, just trails right and wide, but it was worth the effort.
Yeah, definitely, and putting it dead at this stage, it's a long way for Duhallow to get up into the wind. They should be able to work one more chance, Nolly, but it's a big ask to get all the way up there.
Yeah, I mean, Duhallow are going to have to work extremely hard here. Clonard are bouncing here now, you know, and you know, we said at the start of the game, Clon have youth, and they're showing it. They're really, really after coming into this game in the last quarter, and they look like they have the legs. But going back to Mark, again, like I was saying, you have to give the men credit. Like you were saying, Patrick, the last quarter of an hour, I'm not a fan of it coming out the field, but he is really, really rose Clon here in the last quarter of an hour.
Conor Daly popping the ball back outside to Jack O'Mahony to Joe Grimes, back outside to Sean White. 2nd minute of injury time's elapsed. Duhallow need to engage. They're down by a point with a minute left of injury time. Ball's back outside to Gerard Barry, and here is Mark White now, and he's going to engage forward as the Clonakilty men start to open up the middle of the field as if it was Moses in the Red Sea. But look at the big pass forward. Super pass to Morris Shanley. Shanley just bends down and didn't get a grip of the ball, and that gives Duhallow one more opportunity now as Kyle Holland, the Duhallow keeper, is going to engage. Brings up Paul Walsh now. Walsh looking to try and level up this game. We've seen him do it before, Duhallow. They got a score late in the game last year to level up against Nemo before conceding late. Here in possession, Shane Hickey outside to Kyle Holland. Holland popping the ball outside under pressure. Have Duhallow turned it over? They haven't. They still have a chance of possession, and they have it. Bart Daly, time is ticking. Play continues on. Over with Mikey Brown, done well. Bit of composure shown by the man from Newmarket. Chance now for Ellis. Pops the ball inside. Are we going to head up for a level game? Ball's walking around. Ball with Conor O'Callaghan offloading. Shane Hickey up and under. Play continues on. Still underneath him inside there. Walks out. Ricochets back to Darrow Moynihan. Back outside to Paul Walsh. He's going for a shot. Walsh turning left and wide. And it's all over. It's all over. And Clonakilty, with the last 7 points in this game, have come out on top. A heroic effort from the West Cork club, and they've defeated Duhallow 13 points to 1-9.
Yeah, fully deserved. To be fair, I suppose, look, it's not rocket science. I think we were saying it all day. Like we were saying, we sound like broken records. But sure, it was very simple. Clan pushed up, they took them on, and created their own chances. And Duhallow kind of ran out of legs towards the finish.
Yeah, I think that was a factor. Donegal, even though, look, you see the Clan lads, there's 2 or 3 of them pulling up with cramp there. But they gave it all for the last 15 minutes. We talked at the last water break. Would Clan make some changes to kind of come at the game, because we felt it was there for them to do it. It showed it at the end. On the flip side for Duhallow, I question some of the things there in terms of, so many of their players have played games over the weekend. Could they have used their bench a bit more? Definitely some fellas tired, and even then, going into injury time, they took off Jerry O'Connor, and I always question taking off a scoring forward when you're looking for a score to equalise a game. I think it's tough on Duhallow. It's tough for the divisions to try and play when so many of our players are involved in other teams at the same weekend, but that's the nature of the division. That's just how it is.
And I think Ned English kind of brought that point up before the game. They've only had 2 training sessions this year. They couldn't meet all year because there was different cups. The Ducon Cup, the Tom Creedon Cup was happening. There was the Duhallow Cup was happening as well for the championship for the junior and intermediate teams. So that all took an effect from a Duhallow point of view.
Yeah, totally, and I understand that, but that is the nature of being in charge of division. You have second access to the players, maybe third after county as well, like that. I played with Carberry when I was starting out when Ross were junior and intermediate. We won a county in 2004. We never trained. We used to get when the season went on towards the end of the year. We used to get together once a week in Inchydoney in the pool. Look, that's something the divisions have to do. Divisions are there for teams from the intermediate and junior clubs to experience the highest level of football, but you're not going to be collectively training all the time or anything else like that. It's what it's there for. I would say it was more to do with the tiredness. Duhallow team have played together plenty of times. They know each other. I'd say it was more to do with the tiredness of playing the last couple of days, and also Clan just throwing off the shackles a little bit the last 15 minutes.
Just look what it means to the fans and the players underneath us. Means a lot to definitely to a club like Clonakilty.
It does, huge, and I think it means, do they play Castlehaven now?
We're going to confirm that now in 2 seconds.
Yeah, I think they can't play the Bars, and so as far as I know, that might be it. But look, it's great for Clon. It's a long time since they got to the semi-finals and got out of the groups in the championship even. So they'll be delighted. You can see it, they're delighted. Clon is a big football town, so you know Cork football needs some of the bigger towns like Clon and Bantry and all these guys and Scabe and all those things. We need them to get stronger and get better again, like for the benefit of Cork football.
Okay, let's have a look. So with the graphics this weekend, obviously the Bars have beaten their Ogun 16 to 12 points. We saw a win for Castlehaven a little bit earlier on, and obviously we saw a win moments ago for Clonakilty and Duhallow, and that now means Castlehaven have to go down to the bottom side of the draw, and the semi-final pairings in a fortnight's time, gents, we can exclusively reveal it will be Douglas versus Clonakilty, and it's St Finbarrs versus Castlehaven, October 4th, 2020, all over again, please.
Yeah, they're two massive games, and do you know what interests me more than anything is it's actually Clonakilty and Douglas, in that, you know, they're very similar. Clonakilty are a young kind of team that are transitioning a bit, and today is a massive day for them. No different to Douglas 2 weeks ago, and they're both very, very similar teams. So that game is going to be, you know, a very, very interesting game, and on top of that, it's going to be a huge game for both clubs, because, you know, if you told any of the two of them at the start of the year that one of us is going to be in a county senior final, I'd say they'd take her hand off for it. And then obviously the other semi-final, without a doubt, the two best teams in the competition. I can't call it. You know, that is going to be an absolutely humdinger of a game, and you know, they're two brilliant semi-finals to look forward to.
Just to clarify, because in the bottom half, Bars and Clonakilty have won their games. They have met in Group 3, I think it is off the top of my head, but they met in the final day of competition. They can't face off, so that means Seed 1 and Seed 2 stay in position, and the swap happens between Clonakilty and Castlehaven, John Hayes. An intriguing game, I think. Is it fair to say Douglas will be the team to beat in the first semi-final? They will go in as pretty hot favourites, but the second game could be absolutely anything.
Yeah, sure, look, we saw it last year in the semi-final with all the way to penalties, so as Noel said, take a brave man to make a definitive call on that game. Just in relation to the first game, Douglas probably slight favourites, but a 4-week gap from their last game. Clon have this game to stand to them now, and this game will stand hugely to Clon, to the likes of Liam O'Donovan, you know, to Morris Chanley, to a couple more of those guys. You know, you'd probably expect more out of Sean White the next day, 2 or 3. So Clon will improve for this game, which puts them into a good position. And they're also in, you could say it applies to both teams, but Douglas having won their group with Nemo in it, you know, the favouritism goes on to them, whereas Clon, you can see it, they're very happy with this result. They're a little bit in bonus territory, and they can go out maybe without the shackles that potentially they had today and really go at that semi-final. So two great fixtures. Part of me says, look, Castlehaven and Finbarrs would have been the final that we would like to see, but that's the way the draw is.
So pick out the two of you, pick out the winner from here now.
I think it's very tough. I think if I had to put money on it now, I'd put it on Castlehaven. I just think, look, they have the edge of having beaten St Finbarrs last year, and they have extra forward quality. Now, I'll caveat that by saying I haven't seen much of the Bars this year. I know they have a new forward, Conor McCrickard, yeah. So he could be another addition to take the burden off Stephen Sherlock. But if you made me put money on it right now, I'd be going for Castlehaven just slightly, but that semi-final could go either way.
Yeah, I agree with John. I suppose the only thing I would say in relation to Castlehaven, you know, they're on the road a while. You know, have they the hunger to get back there again? That'll be the big question. In relation to Clonakilty and Douglas, you know, tradition is a fright, you know, and that's why I give Clon a slight bit of a nod there. I think John is 100% in what he said. They can get more out of their men, I reckon, going forward. Clonakilty, like, there is a lot more in them, and this is a massive victory from, no doubt, the Nemo game was a huge victory for Douglas, and if they do pull it off, it won't be a huge surprise, but I just feel this is coming at the right time for Clonakilty, and like we say, you know, they're just two great pairings and something to look forward to.
Sure, indeed, and it's been a busy day. Just to wrap up, lads, the 3 quarter-finals, the Bars had a massive win here on Friday night, but the 2 games today to touch on, Castlehaven with John, you were here for that game, an impressive victory, 114 to 10 points.
Yeah, and look, they improved as the game went on as well. You know, they looked in trouble there after half time when Valleys came out and kicked 4 points in a row to bring it to a point, but their big players, you know, stood up and were counted, and you know, Brian Hurley, Mark Collins in particular were excellent. And look, just from a neutral perspective, like, the new championship is brilliant. You know, it's so good to watch, so much to enjoy about it. Yes, we probably could do with a bigger window for the dual clubs, because it is no doubt tough on the guys who are trying to play week in and week out. But isn't that still so much better than the old system where we used to play around in April and not play again until August or September, whatever it is? And you can see it in the entertainment we're getting in all the matches as well. Players improve for playing games, the quality improves. Hopefully it'll be beneficial for Cork football. 2 big semi-finals to look forward to. 3 games left in the championship, all to play for. You know, just like from a player's perspective, you'd love to be involved, but as a supporter and someone who loves Cork football, it's great to be able to enjoy it as well.
Noel, final word to you for the evening.
Yeah, look, all in all, you know, there were 2 exciting games, but I didn't see the Castlehaven game, but, you know, talking to the guys, you know, I suppose it's Castlehaven out and out. You know, they when the pressure came on, they seemed to be able to up the gears a bit and pull away. And just touching on Clon and Duhallow, you know, while for a lot of it wasn't the best spectacle in the world, you know, when Clon threw the shackles off, you know, it turned into quite an interesting game and an enjoyable game, and you know, a great result in the finish, to be fair.
Sure is. Gents, thank you very much. Noel O'Leary, thanks for joining us. John Hayes, thanking you as well for a stiff, hard day, keeping Cubby warm in the first game as well, so we returned the favour there a while ago. Noel blocked the win, indeed. Look, thanks very much, lads. Clonakilty 13 points to 1-9. The Bars won 116 to 12 points the other night, and of course Castlehaven 114 to 10 points. That wraps up our quarter-final coverage of the Bon Secours Premier Senior Football Championship. Attention switched back to hurling next week. Plenty of semi-finals down for decision, and coverage to be revealed during the week. You can follow it on irishexaminer.com/sport. My thanks to Kieran back at base, to Johnny on camera, and to Tony and Stephen who are on the desk for the afternoon. Your reaction to come tonight and tomorrow on the papers on the Irish Examiner, and we hopefully will see you all again here live on Páirc Uí Chaoimh as the rain starts to set. It was a bit of a spectacular game, but a spooky victory for Clonakilty by a point. Good evening from Páirc Uí Chaoimh.